Gavin Newsom is eyeing the White House in 2028, but resurfaced clips of his wife sharing what can only be described as suicidal empathy just torpedoed his dreams of becoming president.
I had to be very raw when we interviewed the young men who were juvenile offenders in San Quentin. I told them about my own loss, where I lost my older sister a few days before my 7th birthday, and I blamed myself for her death. And I share that because that they ultimately were accused of committing these violent crimes and sentenced for life. And I think it shocked them that this, blonde lady who was, interviewing them had a similar story, was perhaps in the wrong place at the wrong time, but wasn't punished the way they were, because clearly it was an accident, but theirs was probably an accident too. So anyway, I share that just because I guess, I quite enjoy spending time with people and being real and unmasking and showing them that it's safe to unmask themselves.
Beautiful, beautiful.
That was a 2016 interview at the Wisdom 2.0 conference in San Francisco, where she told convicted killers that their murders, rapes, and violent crimes were probably accidents, just like her childhood tragedy in which she accidentally ran over her sister with a golf cart. This is the California First Lady. While Californians are fleeing record crime and Gavin Newsom is pushing soft on crime policies, his wife is out here empathizing with hardened felons at San Quentin. This isn't just tone deaf. This is the clip that ends Gavin Newsom's national ambitions. The internet is already roasting him alive, and with good reason. The last time a prominent Democrat tried to sympathize with criminals like this, it became Donald Trump's winning campaign ad that sealed the deal of his 2024 election.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
Hell no, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to that.
Kamala supports transgender sex changes in jail with our money.
Kamala even supports letting biological men compete against our girls in their sports. Kamala is for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Gavin Newsom at least had the political awareness back then to see that ad was devastating to Democrats.
The most effective ad of this election cycle, the most effective ad, what it is.
Yeah, and devastating. Trump's for you, she's for they, them.
And
devastating.
Again, devastating.
Devastating.
Let's talk
and she didn't even react to it, which was even more
let's talk about why.
But his wife is echoing the same sentiment, or at least was in 2016, and likely hasn't diverged from that we need to accommodate all these marginalized groups, including criminals, instead of serving the majority of taxpayers in California. The Newsom administration has proven that it believes in minimizing personal responsibility and protecting real victims in favor of empathy for offenders. This is the progressive worldview. It excuses crime as a misfortune that happens to the perpetrators and the victims, rather than an active choice to be lawless that has to be met with consequences proportional to the crime that will deter future crime. That's the only way society functions. Jennifer Newsom is like the ghost of 2020 coming back to haunt again when the American people have already said, we're not doing the woke craziness ever again. DEI is a disease that hurts businesses and the economy. We're not going back. Jennifer Newsom wants to go back.
Look at Silicon Valley. Had more women been early on in those companies or at the tables of power making decisions, I don't think we would have so much or have allowed for so much sort of bigotry, racism, misogyny, and hate online. I don't think that we would have the anonymity of it. I think that there would have been ooh, that's unkind. That's not okay. You can't make money off of that, about dividing people, misinforming people.
She wants to institute gender quotas so that companies are majority women, which means compassion rather than the bottom line will rule. Sounds nice, but it actually means that now the government gets to decide what messaging online is unkind and punish tech giants based on that. She wants us to be like the United Kingdom and round up people for saying unkind things about progressive sacred cows like illegal immigration and transgenderism, both things that deserve criticism, and debate. That sounds draconian. As a young woman myself, I reject the democratic idea that women can do no wrong and can only improve everything by policing speech and morals. Sorry, that's equality, right? Judging both sexes equally. When the average American thinks, what will improve my daily life? I don't think they're imagining one big HR department with scolds like Jennifer Newsom as co-pilot. California is a mess. People are leaving in droves for the Sun Belt, Florida, and Texas, and Jennifer Newsom is going to war against stereotypes.
Really, with First Partner, I wanted to continue the work that we have been doing at the Representation Project, which is basically deconstructing stereotypes, in particular gender stereotypes. And I felt like lady was sort of a backwards connotation of who we really are as wives, as partners, as spouses.
She's possibly more far left than Kamala Harris, and we all know how that turned out. We can reasonably assume that Jennifer Newsom is influencing Gavin, and if that is true, we cannot trust Gavin Newsom's recent moderation to the middle.
I'll be candid with you. I looked at that issue and I said, boy, they're just exploiting this. It's a handful of people. What the hell is this? It's being weaponized. It was just another cultural issue. Until 2 years ago, there was a state track championship. We had a trans athlete that was successful, and there was a video of the girl that lost, and she was devastated. That video went around everywhere. And it was very emotional. It was very real. I remember calling my team in. I said, this is legit. And I did this podcast with Charlie Kirk. Unsurprisingly, he brought it up. And he said, tell me that's not fair. I said, it's not fair. You're right. My party was pissed. LGBTQ caucus, furious with me because I don't think it's fair.
Everyone knows Gavin Newsom is a political shapeshifter. His entire memoir was talking about how he's just been trying to climb the ladder, and he will pretty much do or say anything to get there. He'll put on a centrist costume to win independent voters, but once he's in office, he'll be beholden to the progressive flank. And his wife, who says they have one of the most progressive households in the country. Home and work are separate, right? But are they really in this case? Jennifer Newsom is not only a major liability to Gavin's 2028 plans, she might have just destroyed them.